and there's a lot of women my age. I've dated women my age, and they may have baggage, they may have kids, they may have not. It's just there's so many different women that I've dated throughout my life, and this just so happened to be the one that caught my heart.
Marcus Houston is in a lot of hot water for pretty much committing this crime. And that crime is being a successful black man with an opinion, standards, and options. It's the scariest thing to a lot of people in urban black communities. And how dare he exercise that? Now, guys, Marcus Houston is all of 41 years old. I grew up listening to Marcus Houston. He was an immature, great singer. And, a lot of ladies liked him. They liked that group. If you guys remember, I believe it was House Party 3. Immature was in that. And Marcus Houston went and had a decent solo career. And outside of being a great singer and a great vocalist, he was also a Jehovah's Witness. Now, a lot of people didn't really know that about Marcus Houston, but he grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, and because of that upbringing, he holds certain traditional values that, for most people, we don't really see in today's world. And because
you see, this is why it's so important to have a religion. When I say religion, I'm really talking about a moral foundation. It's very important to grow up with a moral foundation. Otherwise, of course, I'm not Jehovah's Witnesses, and I don't think they're Christian anyway. But but it's regardless, it's still a moral foundation. You see what I'm saying? And that's why it's so important to grow up with that moral foundation. Because if you don't grow up with that moral foundation, your moral foundation will be peer pressure. It will be anything that society basically is promoting at that time. You're gonna drown in the trends. You see what I'm saying? And that's it. So salute to him, man.
Yeah. If you don't have a religion, the media takes over.
It takes over
as your religion.
As your religion, yeah. Eventually, you're going to follow something. Trust me, you're going to follow something. This idea that you're following yourself is absolute rubbish. You don't follow yourself. You're going to follow something. And if you don't pick your moral foundation now, trust me, you're going to find yourself reading other books that will be telling you to do something else. You're going to find yourself on Twitter. You're going to find yourself on social media following whatever they're telling you. You're going to find yourself watching a movie on Netflix and pushing an agenda that will change your mind towards something. You're going to start following whatever whatever the agenda is that the hierarchy is now promoting. You see what I'm saying?
That's true. I hear that.
Of his traditional values. When he got married, he was looking for certain things. Now, what are those things? Let's kind of talk about it. If you're a black man and you're successful and you have money, you're not pinned down to what you see in urban black America. Like when I wasn't doing so well living in Del Paso Heights, I only got to see really what was in Del Paso Heights. And what did I come across? A lot of single moms. Now, when I went on to college and I went on to start working and got into the industry and got into the careers and got to traveling, I started to see the world for what it was. And I started to realize I had more options than what I saw coming up. And it's not just me. Many of you people understand the same way. You come from Baltimore, you come from DC, you come from Cleveland, you come from Chi-Town. But man, as you start developing, coming along in your life, you start to see what's going on. And then as you start to improve your standards and improve yourself, the people that you want around you have to be better. The only problem is if you're a black man, you're supposed to accept whatever comes your way. For an example, you're a successful black man, or let's just say this, you're a broke black man. No woman wants to deal with you. That's true. If you're ugly, if you're fat, you have problems, you have baggage, no woman in black America wants to deal with you. We understand that. But now, if you're a black man and you have something to offer, you're decent looking, you're hardworking, all of a sudden, you need to be able to deal with somebody else's baggage and accept them for where they are, although they would never accept you for where you were. That's just the reality. And Marcus Houston didn't want to deal with somebody else's baggage. Now, there's this controversial interview going on right now. I want to play this clip and we'll come back and then we'll assess it.
They have to make up things about me because they just don't have enough. And they're so interested in me and interested in my wife and so interested, but what can we create so what we can run with? Because he doesn't give us anything. you know. So I think that's a lot of the reason why people make up stuff too, because they just can't get it from me.
But don't part of you want to say, well, damn, at least she's black. That's a black woman I married. Like,
You know what I'm saying? And that's true. Like, I like all through the immature days, we would have light-skinned girls in our videos like, why can't you get a sister? Why can't you get a black girl? And then it's like, oh, y'all only like skinny girl. And it's just like, you know, the plus size women was coming out. And I'm just like, man, I just can't catch a break. But it might be true because everybody thought I was their husband. And I'm sorry, ladies, I'm taken. And, you know, Maya got me. So, I mean, if you want to be jealous, you can be jealous. But, you know, just love me. Watch the movies, watch the entertainment. Just watch my life from a distance. You know, I married a sister and you know, she's beautiful and smart and talented and she's caring and loving and she's everything that I saw myself being in a relationship with.
right.
And, you know, when you look at a person's qualities, like I was talking to one of my friends and I was saying, yeah, okay, I'm 41, right? She's 22. I could have married a 41-year-old woman and it could have been disastrous.
So did
They
you say
could have
40?
felt like, you know, because
Did you say 41? She was 22.
Yeah. 22 and 41.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See?
so what, 20-year difference?
Men
19
like
years.
younger women.
Mm.
Men like younger women. That's just a fact. You know what I mean?
That's the reality.
And it's not for perverted reasons. It's for fertility reasons. You know what
I
I
was
mean?
actually going to say
And
that.
plus,
Yeah,
plus they're more beautiful.
well, keep it 100, didn't
Yeah,
So-
facts. Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
I'll sit and talk to women and women that are my age, and they kind of have a different outlook on life. You know, a lot of women my age are very independent. They are very like, you know, I don't need a man to do this for me because
Baggage.
Yeah. This is a textbook case study, like it's ticking all the flags that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Pretty much.
Yeah.
men want to be able to mold their women. You're not going to do that to a woman who's 30 something, you know what I mean, 35, where she's already going through high risk pregnancy. She's already has a high body count. And of course, if she hasn't been able to actually get a man, then that means she's been working all throughout her entire time. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, which means her traits, her masculine traits, is so high up there. You know what I mean? Like, no wonder why when they start talking, the first thing they say, I'm independent, I've got my own money, I've got my own whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? And all a man hears is, this is baggage. Like, I don't need this. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Might have children as well.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but men are not attracted to men. And that's what these
It's
women.
a repellent.
That's what these old women
We're not
become,
attracted to
basically.
masculinity,
Yeah,
yeah.
they become masculine. You see what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And bitter.
I could do this for myself. And I come from a generation that I'm very, very, you know, love to provide for my wife. I love to provide for my woman. And I'm very in that generation, like the old days, you know. I
Traditional.
would never want to be with a woman that felt like, oh, I don't need you, or I don't, you know what I'm saying, like that. So, you know, and there's a lot of women my age. I've dated women my age, and you know, they may have baggage, they may have kids, they may have not. You know, it's just there's so many different women that I've dated throughout my life, and this just so happened to be the one that caught my heart.
So what was your red flags like when you like dating through all through her? I know you probably met like some of the most beautiful women in the world. What was some like red flags like, no, you're out. No, like a red flag is like, I'm done. Next.
Red flag for me always if a woman had a kid. Nothing against single women, single mothers with children. I respect them. I love them. I feel like that's one of the toughest jobs, to raise a child and to also raise a child by yourself and to be a woman. 100% tip my hat, respect to the women that are raising children on their own. But just with me, for when I grew up, I never really wanted kids. And, you know, I would talk to my dad a lot, and he would always tell me, look, have your own kids, because you never want to have, you know, you don't know what the baby daddy's about, you know, so, you know, if you're going to have kids, make sure as a woman that they never had kids before, and you can have your own. So I kind of like stuck to that. So that was always my red flag. But then that's a personal choice.
Right.
You see, Marcus Houston, he
Kept
had
it
been there,
respectful.
he had done that. And he got tired of the red flags.
I'm sorry, like, listen, it's not. Just look at that. He kept it respectful.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be disrespectful. But if I say a fact, Yeah. See, we have to walk on eggshells.
Yeah.
You just see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You can't be direct.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, but I just don't like single mothers. It's a lot of baggage. I want to have my own kids. I don't want to take care of another man's kids.
Yeah.
If he said it like that, it'll probably be construed, even though he was being direct.
Yeah.
He doesn't like single mothers. He's being disrespectful towards you. You see, like that's the power of feminism. That we always have to give a disclaimer before we say before we actually say what we really thinking.
Too powerful, bro.
That is crazy. Do you see what I'm saying? To me, that is crazy. I'm sorry. I'm not attracted to single mothers. I'm not attracted to older women, and that's it, really. You know what I mean? If you want me to give you the reasons, I'll give you reasons for it. But I shouldn't have to walk on eggshells. You know what I mean? Here's my disclaimer before I say anything, because I might just hurt some people's feelings, because we know men are being pushed to look at single mothers as a good option. You see what I'm saying? Just watch Hollywood movies. They always make the single mother look like the innocent one. You know what I mean? And it's it's just not true. She just made some poor choices. You see what I'm saying? And then ended up with a kid, and now she's no longer attractive in the marketplace. You know what I mean? For men looking for something serious like a family and so on and so forth.
It is a hard fact to swallow, but I mean, like, most men, if they want to build their own family, wouldn't want to be with a single mother, you know what I mean? Because it's like bringing up someone else's kids. You don't really want to play stepfather, you know what I mean? And it's like you're always going to have, even though you might be all right with it for a while, you're always going to have that resentment, like, nah, I want my own kids, you know what I mean? It's like, that's
so
always going to
hard,
be an issue, yeah.
Those extra problems, you're just not going to need that.
It is, yeah.
Single mothers are doomed to be alone. For forever, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's harder for a single mother to find a relationship. Okay, that sounds harsh, right? Look at that. But
I wish them all
I'm
the
sorry
best,
to say,
obviously.
of course, I wish them all the best. But the thing is, the likelihood of them finding a man that will definitely take them serious and will definitely want to, have a family with them and blah blah blah, fulfill whatever it is that they want out of that. It's minuscule, bro.
So how do you feel about the men that do, marry women with children?
I think they're saints.
I mean, that's their choice, and like, hats off to them, you know what I mean? If
they saints and they simps too.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Simps.
I'm sorry to say
Respect.
it, bro. Because you should be building your own legacy.
Yeah.
You should be building your own.
I
legacy.
agree with that. I agree with
You
that.
shouldn't be. You shouldn't be.
Right, start from scratch.
Yeah.
Listen, if that child makes an allegation against you, the mother will always take that child's side. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Oh yeah.
You don't have no authority over that child. You can't discipline that child.
Absolutely.
You can't. And let's say you two break up.
Yeah.
She can take the child away, and all the emotional attachment that you developed over the time that you were that child, that's gone now.
Yeah,
because you have no rights to that child.
Because the child would always come first, and she can never fully devote her love to you.
Exactly. It's a bad deal.
Yeah.
And the child will always come first.
true.
Exactly. They will always come first.
Yeah.
It's just not right. And you should be building your own legacy, not the guy comes over to visit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The father comes over to visit. It's like, it's always an uncomfortable, like...
Oh, yeah.
And the baby father's always in the picture as well, you know what I mean? That's always something that you have to deal with in the back of your head. Like, say,
that's rough.
Well, he had her first and he had kids with her. Like, and that's always going to be in your head.
You
You know what I mean?
can't argue with that, can you? It's like a fact.
You can't stop it.
No.
Yeah?
Can't stop it. Yeah.
He started to pretty much see the patterns or proclivities. Women that were a certain age that had kids also had a certain mindset that he was coming across. And let's keep in mind, Marcus Houston isn't dealing with, let's say, chicks from the hood. He's dealing with a lot of women in the industry, beautiful women who are professionals. And they had the same things in common. Number one, I don't need a man. Number two, I can do bad all by myself. And they already have kids. And when he said that was a red flag, what it could have meant is not that they're bad people or anything, but like the judgment as a wife, he didn't think was the best. And let me just kind of play back this particular interview of Kevin Samuels talking to this lady who's looking for a high value man who's 33 with a 14-year-old son. Let's play that to see what's going on.
When was your last relationship?
Ooh. About 2 or 3 years ago. Actually, 2 years ago.
How long did that last?
A month.
Almost 5 years, but I don't count the last two because it's off and on. So I would say I would give it about 3.
Do you want children?
I have 1.
Do you want more?
I wouldn't mind more.
No, do you want more?
I do.
Okay. And do you want to be married?
I do.
Okay. So if you say 40 is the age where you think it's time to give up on a dream, what are you doing to make sure you become a wife before age 37?
Working on myself now. All of my flaws all the flaws that I've come to grow past within these years, I'm working on to better them so that I don't do the same mistakes before.
Are you in counseling?
No, not anymore.
I think lots of people need counselling out here. Seriously.
So, who's judging your progress?
I am off of experience so far.
Okay, so to men, that sounds like you're doing nothing. You are the person that has been charged to this point. How can you get yourself out of the ditch? If you're failing math, how can you get yourself a passing grade in math?
Your phone, you broke up. You said
if you're failing math, if you're failing trigonometry, geometry, chemistry, how can you get yourself out of failing? How can you get from an F to an A?
You got to get help. You got to get help.
Okay, so you said, I asked you, what are you doing? And you said, working on these issues, but you're really not.
So you're saying it's better to get the help so you could properly work on the issues.
Well, you're 33 years old with a child. You don't have time to go slow.
I don't.
So, I don't understand why women think that they can fix this stuff themselves.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. I don't think to fix it myself, and I don't want to fix it myself.
But you said you were the one in charge. But you said you were working your issues, but you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah, I have to because it's just me and my son right now. And those are, it costs to have those type of assistance and helps. So I have to start, build from the ground up and get it. Not saying that it's not
You see me
required.
keep shrugging my shoulders like, so? So, I mean, I know it costs, lose sleep, miss a meal.
So see, guys, this is the same thing going on here. You see Kevin telling her that you want a high value man.
She said something about 40 years old. That's when she's hoping to.
She's going to give up her dream, I think.
But the thing is, what if it's when he asked her, do you want more kids?
And she hesitated, didn't it, at first?
She hesitated because she doesn't want more kids.
And usually women with kids don't.
Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to say. Women with kids and women past the age of 30 do not have the psychological disposition to have another child. Why? Because it's hard work. And the older you are, your disposition will go, lower and lower because you just don't have that energy anymore.
Yeah.
That a young mother between the ages of 19 and 24, she'll have the energy to take care of 3, 4, 5 kids. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of course, with a husband and so on there, right?
It's a natural thing.
Because you're older now, most of your eggs are gone, and you've already raised one child.
So she's already worn out from that as well.
Yeah, she's already worn out from that. Past the age of 30, what, you think you're going to bring another child into this world and raise that, into your 40s? And by 40, he'll be 7. A child is hard work. They don't stop running around. They don't stop. And these women want jobs on top of that. Taking care of a child is a full-time bloody job.
Full-time job.
But they want to have jobs, but not careers. You know what I mean?
Do you think part of the feminine propaganda was to make them feel like slaves for doing the mother work, like being a full-time mum? Do you think like the feminist propaganda made them think, yeah, like you're not appreciated?
Yes, feminists like Betty Friedan. Yeah, I'll tell you straight up. She's the one who came up with the feminine. I think the feminine mystique. I think that was her book. She started the propaganda of. You should read her book, yeah. But she basically started the propaganda. She took it a step further. She was just like, you should basically aspire to be more than a mother, because being a mother is not all you are. You are more special than that. You should be. You should embrace your careers and become all you can be. And she actually tried to make them believe that they could be both at the same time.
Okay.
Not just her. Margaret Singer. For it's a waste of time. Like a woman should not even look at being a mother as the most important thing. This is what all the feminists in the 1940s, you know what I'm saying, were basically saying, because that was a second wave of feminism. Betty Friedan is the one that's really launched the second wave of feminism into a next level. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I think it was the second or the third. But yeah, so like, this comes from somewhere. You see what I'm saying? This attitude, this belief, it comes from somewhere. You know what I mean? That's the root cause of it.
Yeah.
There's another issue here that this woman is completely delusional because she's 33. We've already caught that she doesn't want kids.
Yeah.
But she's trying to put across that she does want kids.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Samuels was also detected that she doesn't, she has issues and she's not addressing them in counselling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Which means, and actually, she probably knows from being a single mother and her baggage that she has issues. The reason she doesn't want to address the issues because she knows she has them.
Yeah.
And that would take
away.
that would take hard work.
Yeah.
And
away from the truth.
she doesn't want to
Show acknowledgement.
It shows
accountability.
It shows lack of accountability.
Yeah.
It shows that she has no accountability, but she's willing to engage in deception in order to get a man, just because she's now single and lonely. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's it. Because I think a lot of women use children as their husbands. Use children for that emotional void that they, you know what I mean, that they want that they yearn for that structure and that order and that, you know what I'm saying, like something that keeps them in line. Do you see what I'm saying? And they take it out on the children, because guess what comes with raising a child? In a sense, you get to be looked at as if you are responsible, as if you're doing certain things, and you are. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
got certain status.
Yeah, exactly, certain status, and they yearn for that. And I think they're using the children. Do you see what I'm saying? As husbands, you know what I mean, to replace that void that the husband should have been filling. Do you see what I'm saying? Right. And I think that's why she doesn't want to confront her issues. Yeah. And she's well aware of her issues. She just doesn't want to confront it. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why look at Finger's face. He's literally looking like, my days. What if we go here?
Yeah, he's like he's seen straight through it.
Straight through it, bro.
Kevin Samuels was
He's
the
not
master.
phased at all. Man.
Master of deception, man.
He was the master of deception.
Master of detecting deception.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
But you have all these problems, this baggage that you don't want to fix yourself, but you expect some guy that has a lot of money to come and fix it when the father of your child you won't get married
They
to.
want that
so
savior.
you want that guy to be handling your baggage. And because at 33, you expected a guy like Marcus Houston would want to deal with that. And that's the problem. When a black man like Marcus Houston doesn't want to marry a young lady like her, then all of a sudden, let's demonize him. Let's make him out to be, he messes with little kids. He's a predator. The reality is that you're upset that he got a young woman, and there's no evidence of you saying that. And you are mad that he got a young, pretty woman who wanted to be a wife, who's very good looking, and he wanted to have his own kids himself. No, a lot of ladies feel like black men need to come in there and take care of somebody else's kids while getting second-class service. And that's the problem with a lot of sisters that I see in black America today.
Deep.
You want somebody to come in there and sweep up the rug from somebody else's problem. You haven't fixed your problems yet. You wouldn't deal with me if I still had those problems, yet you want to bring me your problems, some of them financial, and then deal with a 14-year-old child, that doesn't respect me.
You're not my dad!
Most guys are saying no. It's a red flag.
That's
what
what you
do
don't wanna
I
hear.
get out of this? That's why guys are saying, hey, if I'm going to do this, let me create my own kids. She wants to be a wife. She wants to be my wife. I want to take care of her and provide for her. I don't want a woman telling me that she doesn't need me or she's too strong and independent. I don't want to hear
devil's advocate. Can I play devil's advocate? So if a man gets a woman pregnant and then they split, so do you feel like that woman now should work harder to stay with the baby father? Or
say that again?
So if a couple get pregnant, a man and a woman get pregnant, and then they split, now you have a single mum.
A man and woman get pregnant.
Yeah. A woman gets pregnant by a
pregnant.
man.
Yeah.
They split up.
Yep.
Now you have a single mum.
Right.
So do you think instead of trying to find a new boyfriend, the woman should work harder to be with the father?
Absolutely.
And keep that unit.
Absolutely.
They should be trying to make it work anyway, you know what I mean? So, but
there's a law in Malaysia. Like even if they catch you, I mean it's partly Sharia law out there. So even if they catch you kissing another woman who you're not married to, you have to marry her.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
that's
basically,
that's in the Bible as well.
Yeah, it's a similar thing. So in that case, I think they should get married and they should make a proper go of it and turn it into a nuclear family.
Because the likelihood of her even forming a family after that decreases so badly that it's like you might as well just make it work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Which means she will have to become more submissive to that man. You know what I mean? Because he's got the advantage now. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise you're a single mother, you're going to destroy your child, and then guess what? Things are not going to turn out well for you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're on the road.
Let me play devil's advocate as well. But what if they actually just can't get on? Like, I mean, they've tried to, but they can't. Yeah. Like, do you think it's fair to put the kids through that? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because then you do.
So they should do their duty.
The thing is, because once you have a child, it's past your little issues. It's about duty. Yeah, it's not to do.
It's not about happiness.
It's not about your little happiness, whether you get on with her or not. It's about understanding that you have an obligation. You shouldn't have come together and made a human being. You made that human being. You have an obligation to that human being, because otherwise you will destroy that human being. So you have to make a choice. Either we can continue bickering, you see what I'm saying, and fighting and creating a hostile environment, or we can be grown-ups. You see what I'm saying? Even if we don't get on, we can be grown-ups, live in the same house, and make sure that we take care of our business, because guess what? We did sleep together and we did bring a child into this world. And we that's what duty is.
But what if the problem, like what I'm saying is, like, what if the problem is getting out of hand? Because say they were getting on and it was working for a while, and then along the way, communication broke down,
Things happen.
Even if it started getting physical, this is what I'm saying. Like, should the kid be subjected to that? This is what I'm trying to say. Because I mean, you hear of kids like growing up and then they're traumatized from what goes on in the yard, what they see goes on in the house.
It's worse when the kid is raised by a single mother.
I do agree with that.
So for example, what you're saying, the reason why it doesn't make sense is because once you leave that child, let's say, okay, we can't get on, blah, 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 we're going to go our separate ways. The abuse that child, statistically speaking, the abuse that child will experience psychologically, it will be even worse. Even this idea that, they can't get on, so therefore you should just leave because it's all for the sake of the child. That's all an excuse to keep breaking up the home.
But those cases,
people don't get on with each other. People don't get. Look, of course, if the guy is violent to the point where even the child is at danger,
this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about extreme situations.
That extreme violence.
Yeah.
No, you need to be calling the police. If he's out here beating you until you know what I mean, breaking bones and all of that type of stuff. But that's what I'm trying to say. That doesn't happen often.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it does.
The majority of men, of men are trying to work things out. They are trying to reason with that person. They are trying to what and whatnot. The majority of people in general are trying to do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because they are caught up in their own little happiness, I need to feel happy. You know, I need to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Rather than saying, you know what? Look, man, you know what I mean? Like, we brought this child into this world. You know what I'm saying? It's not about our personal happiness. You know what I mean? Let's do the best. And what's the best? Listen, we're going to live in the same house. We're going to raise this child. I'm going to bring in the money and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yeah.
And then the child,
that's how sensible
then the child will see that. The child will see that dynamic. The child will see that dynamic. Do you see what I'm saying? Mom at home, daddy at home. Do you see what I'm saying? They'll see that. It's better than the child only seeing the single mother's side of things.
Oh no, I do agree with that.
That's even worse.
Yeah. But,
yo, bro, thanks for coming. You know what I mean, to the podcast.
Pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Love
having me. It was a good experience, man. You know what I mean?
So, the Solution Podcast. You know what I'm saying? We had a brother here, Mantis. You know what I'm saying? Came stop to say hi.
Big up for the invitation, man. You know what I mean?
So we appreciate you for coming, man. But yeah, man, we'll see you on the next episode, man. You get me? The Solution.